This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Hi friends. So on day one, we have discussed about history about AWS and all market leaders. So mainly market leaders are AWS, Azure and Google Cloud. So those things we have discussed. Then we have seen what are the advantages of the AWS. So pay as you go, and it is very speed and very flexible. Okay. So when you don't have any idea on your traffic, then you can configure a auto scaling option, number of servers to be increased, number of servers to be decreased. It will happen automatically based on the traffic, okay, based on the number of requests which your website is receiving. So that and all, we have seen popular services in AWS. We have seen storages and databases, servers, all those things we have discussed. Then we have a different ways to access AWS services. One way is from the portal. I have not shown you. From tomorrow onwards, we are going to start with the practicals, friends. Today also completely we are going to discuss theory part. From tomorrow onwards, so like half session is going to be theory, then next half session is going to be something like lab session. Okay, we are going to learn every day something practicals. So different ways to access AWS service. One is console, one is from like command prompt, third one is from the development services that we have already seen. Sorry, we have not seen, but we just learned theoretically, right? So key terms we have learned like region, availability zone, edge location and regional edge cache. Okay, so then we have seen why AWS is unique, because AWS is providing different we have different regions, we have different edge location, regional edge cache, availability zone. So we have a number of regions, number of availability zones. All these things are very high compared to the other cloud providers. So the number of regions which AWS has is more compared to the other cloud providers. So that's why AWS is the unique. These and all we have discussed as part of yesterday's session, friends. So in our today's session, we are going to see models of cloud services. What are the different models of the cloud services? Then we are going to see how you can compare Azure with the AWS services. So we already learned, most of you learned Azure. So we are going to compare Azure services with the AWS. Let's say I learned Data Factory. So equivalent service in AWS, what is the equivalent service? I learned Databricks. What is the equivalent service in AWS? Okay, I learned Databricks in Azure, but what is the equivalent service in AWS? Something like that we are going to see. Finally, we are going to see, so we will just learn few things about what is EC2 instance, what is RDS, what is DynamoDB, what is S3. All those things we are going to discuss little bit today, theory part. Okay, then we will see available certification in AWS. So what certification you have to take. Okay, all those things we are going to see. Finally, we are going to see top organization who use AWS Cloud, friends. So these are the primary goals for our today's session. So I will start with the models of the cloud services, friends. So if you remember models of the cloud services, we already have seen in our Azure. So we have a on-premise. Now all on-premise infrastructure we are moving to the cloud. Why we are moving to the cloud? Because cloud is providing different models, friends. One is IaaS, PaaS and SaaS. If you see here, on-premise, everything you need to maintain. So in terms of storage, networking, servers, virtualization, okay, operating system, like middleware, runtime, data, applications, the applications which are hosting on the runtime. So all these things, let's say I have developed my Java application, I want to deploy my Java application. So you need to take care of your Java application, the Java application which store the data, that also you need to take care. And where you want to deploy this particular application, you need to take care. Okay, so on which server, how many servers you want to maintain. Okay, so middleware, operating system, virtualization, servers, storage, backend, persistent storage, everything you need to take care in the on-premise. So why everybody is preferring the cloud? Because cloud is providing three different models. One is infrastructure as a service, second one is platform as a service, third one is software as a service. So infrastructure as a service means IaaS. Here see, application, data, runtime, middleware, operating system, you are going to take care. You are going to select whether you want a Windows operating system, whether you want a Linux operating system, what kind of middleware you want, what type of runtime you want. So where do you want to store your data, on what type of disk you want, like SSD or HDD. So all the things you are going to decide here, IaaS. But in if you come to the cloud from on-premise, see, at least minimum of services you no need to maintain. Virtualization, backend server, storage, networking, everything will be taken care by the cloud. Okay, so these four will be taken care by the cloud. Only these five we need to take care if you are using infrastructure as a service. If you think I don't want to take care, I don't want to maintain runtime, middleware, operating system, then you can select a service called platform as a service. Okay, let's say when see on-premise is nothing but when I ordered a laptop in a Flipkart, they are going to deliver to me, so I need to take care of everything with respect to my laptop. But if I get the laptop from the cloud, so you have a different options. What level of access you want? Do you want to maintain all these things, or you want to maintain only these two things, or you don't want to maintain anything? Okay, see, in IaaS, we are maintaining these five things. In PaaS, we are maintaining these two things only. In SaaS, we are not maintaining anything. Everything will be taken care by the SaaS. Like everything will be taken care by the cloud providers. So now I will give you examples. Who will use the SaaS? So SaaS services will be used by the end users, friends. SaaS services will be used by the end users. Example, if you consider a Gmail, if you consider Office 365, so we never worry about what is the backend storage, how my request is going, okay, whether my request is going in a secure way or insecure way. So all these things I don't care. What I will care is when I send a mail, when I compose and when I click on send button, whether my target person receiving my mail or not, I am going to concern. Okay, so meaning you are not worrying about what is there in the underlying infrastructure. You are just caring about how to use this particular service. Okay, if you want these kind of services, these kind of services are called SaaS services. So you no need to maintain anything, you just have to use those things for your work, for your requirement. Let's say I want to send a some mail, I just know how to use the Gmail, so I will send the mail, but I don't care about how my request is going, what is the backend server, what is the backend operating system, what is the backend storage. All these things I don't care. Such type of services are called SaaS services. PaaS services means, let's say I have developed a Java application, so I want to deploy this Java application on a one of the, so Java application is developed by you. Where do you want to deploy the server? Sorry, where do you want to deploy your application and how you want to maintain the data? You need to take care. Okay, let's say I have developed my Gmail application. I know I have an application developed in Java. Okay, and whatever data I am collecting from the Gmail application, I want to store it in somewhere. So what you need to do is you need to have that application ready, Java code is ready, and where do you want to store the data for that logic to be written in the application, and you have to decide where you want to store. So these two things you are going to decide in which language you want to develop this application, where do you want to store the data. But how you are executing this Java code, you don't worry. You have some services in the cloud. If you put your code over there, your code will run automatically. Backend runtime, okay, whether it is a Java runtime, whether it is a Python runtime, .NET runtime. So what runtime they are using, you don't worry. If you are keeping .NET code, they will maintain .NET runtime. If you are putting Java runtime, Java code, they will maintain Java runtime to execute our Java code. So all these things will be taken care by the cloud, friends. Okay, so PaaS will be used, PaaS services mainly used by the developers. SaaS services will be used mainly end users. PaaS services mainly used by developers. Who will use IaaS, infrastructure as a service? This will be used by the admin team, friends. Okay, this will be used by the admin team. So admin team is going to decide what is the runtime they need, what is the middleware, what type of operating system we need. Example, if you consider IaaS, we have a something called virtual machine. So when you are creating virtual machine like laptop, kind of laptop in a cloud, what you need to do, you need to select the operating system. You need to select where do you want to store your data. Okay, so in which location. So all the backend, what kind of security things you want, under which virtual private cloud you want to deploy. So all these five things you need to take care. So that's why SaaS is a end user will be used SaaS services, developer will use PaaS services, infrastructure as a services will be used by your infra team or admin team, friends. Okay, so SaaS example, if you consider Office 365, something like that, example for your SaaS. PaaS is nothing but a EMR clusters will be there. So basically, if you want to execute any Spark code, you don't worry about underlying what. So how many servers are there? All those things. If you don't want to take in care, then you can go with the PaaS. Elastic Beanstalk, something is there in a AWS. How we have app services in the Azure. So you just have to deploy your code in backend runtime. Everything will be taken care. Such type of services are called PaaS. IaaS means will be used by admin or infra team. Mainly example is virtual machines. Virtual machine, you can take it as an example for your IaaS. So everything we are going to do practicals from tomorrow, friends. Just today we are going to go with the theory. Okay. Next. So these are the AWS versus Azure, friends. If you see in AWS, we have a EMR, Elastic Map Reduce. So in Azure, we have a something called Azure Databricks or Azure HD Insight. So whatever you are doing in Azure Databricks, Azure HD Insight, same thing you are going to do it by using a service in AWS, that is EMR, Elastic Map Reduce, Elastic Map Reduce, friends. Next, I have a Azure Data Factory. I want to copy data from one place to another place, something like that. So ETL process, if you want to do, you are going to use a data factory in Azure. Same thing here, we are going to use a data pipelines or AWS Glue. Okay. Next, we have a something called Azure Synapse Analytics. Recently, they have renamed it to Synapse Analytics. Previously, it is a SQL data warehouse. So same thing we have in Azure AWS, that is called a Redshift. Okay, here we have something called Azure virtual missions which we have created. Same virtual missions here we are going to call it as a EC2 instances. Okay, we have Azure Data Lake Analytics, Data Lake Storage. Okay, so you can read data from the data lake storage, you can apply analytics and you can write data back. In the same way, we have a Kingsys service analytics which helps you to store data and you can apply some kind of a analysis on that. You have Azure function, serverless. We have talked about SaaS. I don't care about anything. So in the same way, Azure function is one of the examples for your SaaS. You don't worry. You just put your code, it will run automatically. Okay. Azure functions. Here we are going to call it as a Lambda functions. Okay. Here we have a SQL DB, MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQL. So all RDBMS systems will comes under here RDS instances. Okay. Azure Cosmos DB, it's NoSQL database. In AWS, we have a something called DynamoDB, friends. We have Azure Blob Storage or Data Lake Storage. So equivalent one is S3. S3 is nothing but a simple storage service. Okay. Next, Azure Active Directory. Azure Active Directory basically to control entire infrastructure. See, for human, your mind is very important. So how your mind is telling, you are going to do the same things. In the same way, entire control, whatever Azure Active Directory is telling, you are going to continue with the same permission, same like authentication. Okay, so all this Azure Active Directory, whatever you are doing in Azure, how you are controlling permissions, adding users, adding groups, all those things, same thing we are going to control it by using the IAM, Identity Access Management, IAM. We have a something called logic apps, same logic app like a workflow. Here also it's a workflow, friends. So SWF, so we are going to use to define the workflow. Suppose if you want to define the task dependency, or sometimes you want to execute task parallelly. So all this flow you are going to define by using a SWF in the AWS. So these are the equivalent. So now if you know, whenever we are talking about EMR, you just have to think whatever you learned in Databricks, HD Insight, you have to compare with EMR. Here also we'll have a notebooks. You can create Spark cluster, you can create notebooks and Jupyter notebooks, and you can submit your Spark code, friends. Here you can move data from S3 to Redshift. All those things you can do by using data pipelines or AWS Glue. Okay, so these are the services. Whoever already learned Azure, they can able to learn AWS very easily. That's what I was telling from the beginning. Then in the same way, whoever not learned AWS, they can learn the Azure very easily. Okay, because simply you just have to know the comparison service and you just have to experience one or two times how to use this particular service in the another cloud provider. Okay, in another cloud service. Okay. Any questions, friends, as of now? Anybody have any questions? Can you confirm or chat window, friends, quickly? If nobody have any question, let me proceed further. Yeah. So we will talk about first EC2. What is EC2, friends? If you compare your EC2 instance is nothing but a virtual machine. Okay, you just have to remember virtual machine. Okay, so what is EC2? Elastic Compute Cloud. So it's a web service that provides resizable compute capacity in the cloud, friends. Let's say I want like 8 GB RAM and 1 TB laptop. So such kind of virtual machine, if you want to get it, you can get it through the internet. Tomorrow, I just realized that 8 GB RAM is not sufficient for me. I want to increase to 16 GB. So you can quickly resize. Okay, so that's why we are calling it as a web service that provides resizable compute capacity. So I have configured, I have taken 8 GB RAM system today. I realized it is not sufficient for my workload. I want to increase from 8 GB to 16 GB. So it is very easy to increase. So that is the flexibility you have to increase from 8 GB to 16 GB or 16 GB to further 32 GB, whatever. So that's why this is called a resizable compute capacity in the cloud. So in the cloud, they are providing us resizable compute capacity. At any time, if you want to decrease or increase the capacity of your computation, you can do that. Okay. Second one is EC2 allows creating virtual machine. EC2 allows creating virtual machine means EC2 is nothing but a EC2 service is nothing but a we are creating the virtual machine. You are creating EC2 instance is nothing but you are creating the virtual machine, friends. So you can create virtual machine on demand. What it is saying? EC2 allows creating virtual machine on demand. What is meant by on demand? Let's say suddenly more number of, let's say if you see sometimes what happens, one song will release from the movie or something happened, suddenly it will get the popularity. When suddenly it got the popularity, what happens, many people will start watching that particular video or that particular dialogue. So then what is going to happen is more traffic you are going to receive into your website or video or whatever. So when you got suddenly, when you got more traffic, you should be able to handle it. How you can handle? If you want to handle very quickly, immediately, if you want to increase the number of servers on demand, you can do that because you have not expected. It is suddenly happened that, so suddenly your video or some dialogue got popularity and many people are started watching. So you are getting a lot of traffic. So now you need to handle all these requests. Then what you need to do? You need to increase the number of virtual machines in the backend. So this number of virtual machines you are increasing based on the on demand. Suddenly you got the demand, so on demand you are increasing the virtual machine. So this is possible in the cloud. If you got such kind of a requirement on demand, quickly you can create the virtual machine and you can quickly configure. Okay, next thing. So we have a something called pre-configured template image and mission images can be used to get running immediately. So if you want, let's say if you want Windows mission, you no need to configure all the details. Already we can, what we can do is we can have a virtual machine ready. Okay, same configuration virtual machine, we can take a mission image. Mission image is nothing but a, let's say I have created one virtual machine with Windows 32-bit and 8 GB RAM, all this configuration I have given. I have one mission is running. Same mission, if you want to create, what you need to do, take a image from that mission. From this image, you can create another mission. Another mission, it will work very quickly. You can start running the mission very quickly, friends. So these things I will show you practically. Don't worry right now if you're not able to understand. Okay, next, auto scaling. So that's what we have seen, right? Auto scaling allows automatically scale of the capacity up seamlessly during demand spikes to maintain performance and scale down during demand lulls to minimize cost. So what exactly it means is, so as we discussed, so your video or dialogue got the popularity and many people started watching. So after, let's say in India, if you see more population is there. So what happens if something is popular in India? So suddenly you are going to get a lot of popularity. But when it is a like 8 p.m. or 10 p.m. all in, so it is the midnight for the India. So what happens? All the people stop watching the like YouTube or whatever. So your traffic will start reducing again. So when your traffic is started reducing, you should be able to reduce the number of servers which you are maintaining in the backend. Because let's say you have 3 laptops, but you are using only 1 laptop. 2 laptops are idle. Without using those 2 laptops, you are paying the amount to the cloud providers, whatever. So in the same way, this number of servers in backend also you have to increase based on the traffic level. You have to decrease based on the traffic, how many people are making the request. So these things you can make it as a automatic, friends. Okay, you can put some kind of a thresholds. Based on that, automatically our cloud services will increase. It will take the more servers if required. If doesn't require, it will reduce the number of servers automatically. So these things we can maintain. That is called auto scaling. Okay, elastic load balancing. Let's say I have 2 people. Okay, let's imagine you have a team lead. Under team lead we have a 2 people. So if the team lead liking one person, if team lead is not liking one person, what is going to happen is this team lead will give entire work to one person. Then what happens? Another person is going to be idle, one scenario. Second scenario is first person is going to have a lot of burden. So what you need to do is, as a team lead, you need to distribute the work between these 2 people. In the same way, we have a load balancing concept. What this load balancing will do is, when it is receiving, you have in backend you have 3 people, okay, like 3 servers. You want to distribute this traffic across these 3 servers equally. If you are putting all the requests, if you are sending to first server, what is going to happen? You will have a lot of pressure on the first server. The latency will increase. Okay, so what is going to happen is, friends, the latency will increase, meaning when you are putting all the servers on one server, what happens? That server keep working. It will take some time to respond to you, because already previously received requests are in the queue. So it has to serve those requests. Once it served those requests, then it will start serving your request. So your request will be in the queue, so it will take some time to respond. Why it is happening? Because you are sending all the requests to one server. So instead of sending all requests to one server, you can distribute this request across all the servers which are available in your account, okay, in that particular operation. Okay, so that's how your load balancing you are going to use, friends. You have to balance the load, you have to balance the traffic across all the servers which are available, friends. That you can do. Okay, that you can do by using EC2 instances. Finally, so what you can do, let's say you have taken 2 servers. What happened? 2 servers are down. Suddenly something happened, 2 servers are down. Okay, so still you no need to worry. See, because EC2 instances we are going to provision in a different availability zones. If entire availability zone is down, you will have another availability zone. From another availability zone, they will provide cloud providers will provide the servers to you. Okay, let's say, friends, very simple. I have uploaded my video in uh, a folder. Okay, so a folder is available in a availability zone A. Now availability zone A is down due to some reason. What happens? Suddenly they will move our request to the availability zone B. Okay, why? Because already our data will be copied, and our servers, our infrastructures will have some backup. If one availability zone is down, where you want to maintain second availability zone, where you want to maintain your backup. So for that we can maintain in a availability zone B. So now I have availability zone A, availability zone B. If entire availability zone is down, I can get the servers from the availability zone B. So that's how you can work with the failures. So you can able to handle the failure scenarios also. Because entire availability zone is down, you can have another availability zone to serve your request. See, provides tools to build failure resilient application by launching application instances in a separate availability zone. Suppose availability zone is down, they will launch our instance in the availability zone B. That's how we never worry. We no need to worry, because our failures we can handle very easily in the cloud. Okay, so how you are going to pay for these things? You are going to pay for hourly basis, friends. Like, let's say I have created one EC2 instance and I have used 5 minutes, then I stopped it, I deleted it. But you are going to pay for 1 hour. Whether you are using 59 minutes, whether you are using 2 minutes, you have to pay per hour. So it's a completely based on hourly basis, friends. So you have to pay for hour, irrespective of whether you have used 1 minute or 59 minutes. Okay. So this is all about your EC2 instance, friends. So now we will see what is EBS. So EBS is basically, it's a elastic block level storage, friends. This block level storage, basically it's kind of a hard disk. Okay, so why we will use hard disk? See, once you shut down your mission, you are not, nothing is going to store in the memory. So you need some persistence storage. You need some storage capacity which will keep the data forever, irrespective of whether you are turning off your laptop or whatever. Okay, so such kind of persistence storage is EBS. Here you can keep all your data, like persistence data you can store, friends. You can get EBS volumes like from 1 GB to 1 TB, and more than 1 TB also you can able to get it. Okay, next, whatever data you are storing in a EBS, this will be taken as a snapshots. Okay, snapshots is nothing but a so copies will be taken. Let's say suddenly EBS volume is not accessible, or it is you lost this EBS instance, you no need to worry. What they will do is they will keep taking the backups from this block storage. Okay, from this block storage they keep taking the backups, and these backups they will store it in the S3. S3 is nothing but a unlimited storage, where we have a S3 storage. There they are going to keep all these snapshots. Okay, fine. So provides block level storage from 1 GB to 1 TB for use with Amazon EC2 instances, friends. So we have to attach this hard disk to the EC2 instance. Okay, next, multiple volumes can be mounted to the same instance. Let's say you have a one laptop. To that laptop you can connect the multiple hard disk, right? In the same way, these kind of EBS volumes you can attach as many as you want to the EC2 instance. EC2 instance is nothing but your server. Okay, so these EBS volumes are network attached, persistence independent from the life of an instance. So these are persistent storage, friends. So even your system is down, shut down or something, your data you are not going to lose. Okay, storage volumes behave like a raw unformatted block devices, allowing users to create a file system on top of image and EBS volume. Use them in any other way you would use a block device like a hard drive. So finally what they are saying is you can use this EBS as a hard disk. Okay, next, EBS volumes are placed in a specific availability zone, can then be attached to the instance also in the same availability zone. What it means is you have instance EC2 instance in a availability zone A, and you have a hard disk in availability zone B. So now what you can do, you can attach these two things, but nobody will suggest you to attach these two things. Okay, in some cases you can attach the like storage from another availability zone to the server in another availability zone. Let's say server is available in your availability zone A and your hard disk is available in availability zone B. Now you can attach it, but in some cases, but this is not suggested, because what happens is your server keep accessing some data. So when it is keep accessing this data, so it has to access from the availability zone B. So it has to access data from availability zone B to availability zone A every time. So it will increase the latency. Increase the latency means it will take more time to get the data, because it has to access from entire another availability zone. That's why always suggested thing is you keep your EC2 instance and hard disk both in a same availability zone, same data center, friends. Okay, next. So as I said, each storage volume is automatically replicated within the same availability zone. So replicated is nothing but they will have another copy in the same data center, same availability zone. Okay, so let's say I have a one file called customer.txt or customer.csv. Same file they are going to copy it in another drive also. So what is the advantage? If some disk is not accessible, some disk is not working, you can detach this disk and you can attach the another disk which is working. So that's how you can overcome the failures here also, friends. Okay, next, EBS provides the ability to create point in time snapshots of the volume which are persisted to image and S3. That's what I told. So continuously we are going to take a backups. So every 1 hour if you want to take, every day if you want to take, so you can take the backup. Whatever data is there as of now, I will copy it to the, I will take a snapshot. This copy I will store it in the Amazon S3. Why I am storing in Amazon S3? Because it is a very cheap, friends, very low cost. So you can store all your backup data in a S3. Now what happens if something failed happen? You can get the data from the last backup. From the last backup, you can able to get the data in case of failures. That's how these snapshots are going to useful, friends. Okay, to handle failure scenarios. Next, let's go to S3. S3, as I said, it's a storage, friends. It's unlimited storage. You can store any type of data anytime, anywhere. Okay, so you just have to create one storage. In that storage you can store all type of data, unlimited data like unstructured, semi-structured, structured, all type of data you can store at any time, anywhere. Okay, unlimited data you can store it. Next, so you can write some new data, you can read data from the S3, you can delete data which is there already in the S3, and you can store data in a S3 from a 1 byte to 5 terabytes of data each. Let's say I have a 5 TB file, you can store it in the S3. Okay, 5 TB file, each file size 5 TB. That much large file also you can store it in the S3, and you don't worry, there is no size limit. I have to store only like 10 TB or 30 TB, something like that. There is no limit, friends. You can store as much data as you want. Okay, next, each object is stored in a bucket. Bucket is nothing but how you are creating a storage account in Azure. In the same way, here we need to create a bucket. Bucket is nothing but one account. In that bucket, you can create the subfolders. In that folder, you can store your data. Okay, so bucket can be stored in one of the several regions. So wherever you want to create this S3, you can create. So as we discussed yesterday, we have 22 regions, 5 more regions are coming. So in that entire 27 regions, wherever you want to store, you can choose. So how you will select the region is based on the latency. Let's say I have a region available in India, I have a region available in US, but which one I have to select? As I am in India, I have to select India region. Why? Because if I store my data in India for accessing, for reading, writing, it will be very much faster because it is near to me. So that's how you have to understand which region will give more less latency, like very quickly it will respond. Okay, which one will reduce my cost. Okay, so all other things you need to take in care, friends. Okay, so your data will not leave any your region until unless you move them from the, you move them explicitly. Let's say I have stored some data in a India region, I want to move it into US region. You can move it, but until unless you move the data from India to US, data will not move to the US data center. Okay, so that you can control, friends. So authentication mechanism we have. So for each object, for each file, you can make whether I want to make it as a public or private. Private means you, whomever you have given access, only those people can access. Public means anybody can able to access those files. So for on each file you can put some kind of a authentication. Next, so S3 will be charged based on a per GB data per month. Okay, 1 GB data I have stored for about 1 month. So then I have to pay some amount. I have requested to access some files. I'm keep reading some data and keep writing some data. So based on IO, input output request, your cost will be taken, friends. Okay, charges will be based on the how much data you have stored in the storage and how many input output requests you are making, like how many times you are reading, how many times you are writing data. So based on that. Okay, this is about your storage, that is S3. Next, we'll go to Amazon VPC, friends. Amazon VPC is, it's basically a virtual private cloud. So enter your infrastructure, if you want to put it in a separate place, then this is the best suitable thing. Since AWS, whatever you are doing, you have whatever service you are launching, all the services mandatory you have to launch it within a VPC, friends. Why? Because if you are launching in a VPC, it's a another layer for your security. So if anybody trying to access your services, AWS service, first they should have a access to VPC. In VPC level, you can block it. Okay, you will have some network control list, access control list, and security groups, VPC, some IP addresses. So you will have a different controls. So all these controls, they have to cross to access your service. That's why you need to use a VPC. Okay, don't worry. So VPC we are going to discuss in detail, friends. Okay, so in VPC is nothing but a virtual private cloud. In this virtual private cloud, you can divide entire network into subnets. Okay, so subparts you can divide. What is the advantage? You will get the better performance, and okay, you will get low latency. Here you can have a CIDR. Okay, classless IP addresses you can provide. Difference here, IP addresses you can give your own IP addresses you can give you, so you won't get any default IP addresses. Okay, if it is a public IP addresses you will get, but within VPC, okay, if you want the IP addresses, you can decide what type of IP addresses you want. I know you will not be able to understand anything in VPC because this is completely different, friends. Okay, so we will discuss this VPC later. So let's go to EMR. So if you remember, EMR basically it's kind of a Databricks and HD Insight, as we already discussed. So EMR is a web services that makes it easy to quickly and cost effectively process vast amount of data using Hadoop. Hadoop is nothing but a huge amount of data, big data. If you want to analyze with a low cost quickly, then you are going to use something called EMR in the AWS. So EMR also, it's a distributed data processing engines you can create. Okay, like you can create the Spark cluster in the EMR, friends. So this Spark cluster also will use the EC2 instances in the backend. Okay, so that we will see anyhow when we created the EMR. Next, EMR you can launch as a persistence cluster that stays up indefinitely. What it means is, once you create a cluster, this cluster will keep running. This is not going to stop. Okay, one type of cluster. You have another type of cluster called temporary cluster. Temporary cluster, what it will do is, you are going to submit a job. When you submit job, temporary cluster will create. Once your job execution is completed, this cluster will be terminated automatically. So what is the advantage? Unnecessarily, if you run your cluster, you need to pay. So that's why you are stopping running the cluster unnecessarily when you don't have work. Okay, so that's why you have two types of cluster: persistence cluster, which is going to run forever, whether your job execution completed or not, it is keep running. Temporary cluster will execute your task, then it will delete automatically. Okay, temporary cluster, it will execute your task and it will delete automatically, friends. Okay, next. So it will support a different types of EC2 instances, on demand, reserve, and spot. So these things we will discuss in detail session when we discuss about EC2 instances. Next, so job flows, yeah, everything we will discuss. Next, so EMR price is completely depends on the EC2, friends. Okay, so because we are going to use the EC2 instances here, so along with the EC2 instances, you will have a additional cost, because here you are going to use some kind of a Jupyter notebooks and all those things. Okay, so when you are going to use, in which use, what are the use cases when you will use EMR? When you want to analyze your logs, web indexing, data warehousing. Suppose if you want to have any reporting, if you want to develop any machine learning models, if you want to analyze your financials, okay, scientific simulation, okay, if you want to analyze something, some object, okay, bioinformatics, suppose in medicals, okay, if you want to analyze any disease or something. So in all these cases, we are going to use the EMR cluster to submit our code, friends. Okay. Next, we have something called Amazon RDS. Amazon RDS is basically, it's a relational database system. Okay. See, Amazon RDS is a web service that makes it easy to set up, operate, scale relational database in the cloud. So RDS is nothing but, if you want to create any Oracle database, SQL database, MySQL, okay, so anything, you are going to use a RDS instance to create. So once you start creating RDS, it will ask, do you want to create what type of instances? Do you want SQL server? Do you want Oracle, MySQL? It will ask. So this is a relational database in the cloud. If you want to create any database in the cloud, so we have created SQL database, right? We have created SQL database in the Azure. In the same way, if you want to create any database in a AWS, we have to create RDS instance. Okay. Next, RDS will give access to access to the capabilities of the familiar MySQL, Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server. All these engines you can create. Whatever you want, you can create it. So it will be taken. See, automatic patches, database software backups, storing backup of for user different retention period, enabling point in time recovery. So everything will be taken care. So what it means is basically, if you want to install any security patches, you no need to worry. Everything will be taken care by the cloud provider. If you want to take a backup every 1 hour or every day, you no need to worry. By default, backups will be taken care by the cloud. If you want more backup, like it's more sensitive information, I want to take every 1 hour backup, so then you can configure it explicitly. Okay, so if you want to increase the scale, if you want to increase the capacity of your database, you can increase, friends. Next. Okay, so these backups, everything will be taken, and based on your backups and your database storage, okay, how you are transferring your data, based on all these things, you are going to pay only for the resources actually consumed, based on the DB instance hourly consumed. Let's say how much computation power you are taking, what is the database storage, how many backups you are taking, whether you are taking hourly, like per day once. So based on backup, so how you are moving your data, how quickly you are transferring data. Okay, all based on all these things, you will be charged, friends. Okay, next we have something called DynamoDB. So DynamoDB is basically NoSQL. So the problem with the relational database is, if I have defined one structure, let's say I requested for customer, can you provide his details? He will just give his name and his phone number. So if I define a structure with his phone number and the name, when I ask next customer, if he is giving his name, like his designation, his phone number, all these things, I cannot able to store, because already I defined a structure. I just taking his name and his location. So now next customer is coming and he is giving, along with his name, his location, is giving his phone number and extra things. So when you want to store different structure for each customer, it is difficult in the relational database, because in relational database you are going to define the structure. Okay, for customer table, I need to take only these are the columns: customer ID, customer name, customer location. So even though customer is providing more information, you will not be able to store in the relational database. That's why we need a DynamoDB. In DynamoDB is a NoSQL database. First customer may give whatever data you want to give. Second customer may give whatever data you want to give. So whatever data he is giving, so every customer data we are going to keep it in independently. It's not a proper structure. Okay, that's why this is called NoSQL database, friends. Okay, so this NoSQL data will be stored in a SSDs. SSDs is nothing but a, so how we have hard disk drives, right? Hard disk drives. So those will have a moving parts. But in solid state drives, we will not have any moving parts, friends. So it will be much more faster compared to the hard disk. And these will be replicated across 3 availability zone. Suppose in one availability zone, one entire availability zone you lost, you will have another backup. 2 availability zones will be available. 2 availability zones you lost, you will have another backup, because this data will be available in 3 available zones. Okay, so that's what, as I said, it's not a fixed schema. So for each customer, we are going to collect different information. It's not a fixed column name, like you need to provide your name and your location. No. So first customer can give whatever details you want to give. Second customer, you can give whatever name you want to give, whatever details you want to give. All this information we are going to keep it in a DynamoDB. That's why it's not a fixed schema, friends. Okay, that's why each item may have a different number of attributes, different number of columns. Okay, so first customer may have customer name and a customer location. Second customer may have his name, his location, his phone number. So what is his designation? So third customer, he may have, so his name, his parent information, where he studied. So different information we will have. Okay, so this is also paid based on capacity, how much capacity you are taking. So based on that, okay, how much data you are storing, okay, how frequently you are accessing, based on that you are going to pay, friends. Okay, so elastic beanstalk is basically, if you want to deploy any web like application, you have a Java application, I just wanted to deploy, I don't care about what is the runtime I am using, all those things, then you can use a elastic beanstalk. how we have a app service in our Azure, in the same way we can use the Elastic Beanstalk. You just develop your code, Java code, Python code, or .NET code, you can deploy it. This will be run automatically, friends. Okay. See, quickly deploy and manage applications in the AWS Cloud. So simply you can upload your application and Elastic Beanstalk automatically handles deployment details of the capacity provisioning, load balancing, auto scaling, application health monitoring, whether your application is up and running or any failures happen, everything will be taken care by Elastic Beanstalk automatically. You just have to develop your application and you have to upload your application code. That's all, friends. Okay. So this is, if it is required AWS S3 EC2 instances, automatically it will take in the backend. Okay, it will take, you no need to worry. Okay, so this Beanstalk is developed in a Apache Tomcat for Java. So if you want to develop any Java application, you can deploy Java application. This Java application will run on the Apache Tomcat. If you have Python or something, we have HTTP servers. Okay, so for each language they have some backend runtimes. In those backend runtimes, your code will run. You don't need to worry about that. Okay, so there is no additional charge. You are going to pay for whatever AWS services you are using. Let's say S3 I'm using, EC2 instance I'm using. For those things you have to pay. Okay, CloudWatch is basically you are making request to the S3 and you are calling some website links from the EC2 instance. Whatever you are doing, all these things will be monitored in the CloudWatch, friends. All the logs we are going to capture in the CloudWatch. Once we capture all the logs, we can analyze these logs. Something is failing continuously, you can put some alerts. Okay, if something is failing, you can put some kind of alarm. Okay, you can view the graph, how many times this particular error is repeated since last 1 week, last 1 month. So all these things you can monitor in the CloudWatch. Okay, so by default each service we will have a basic monitoring things. Those will not be costly, friends. If you want to enable more monitoring things, you need to pay extra. Here if you see CloudWatch, by default it will monitor EC2 instance, EBS volumes, load balancers, RDBS instances. So all these things will be monitored. See, some of the metrics is CPU utilization, latency, request count, how many request EC2 instance is receiving, what is the CPU utilization, latency, all those things it will monitor. So for this much there is no cost. But if you are enabling your own application, custom application metrics, system metrics, memory usage, transaction volumes, error rates, if you are making your own metrics, okay, custom metrics, if you enable, you need to pay extra. Okay, next, your responsibility is when you finish your work, remember to make sure following to avoid unwanted cost, friends. Delete your S3 objects, stop or shut down your EC2 and RDS instances. What happens, people, what they will do, so when we are giving training, we will create these EC2 instances. In our hurry we will left that EC2 instances. So EC2 instances per hourly it will be some 10 rupees or something. If you are not opening console, AWS console for about next 1 week, so you need to pay for about per hour 240 rupees, 7 days, 240 into 7 something, some 1500 you have to pay. Okay, you will just hawak, right? You will shock. Why? Because you just forgot and they have charged. So it will be very difficult, friends. Again, you need to contact support team. All this nonsense you have to do. Just to avoid these things, make sure once your work is done, you just delete your S3, stop your EC2 and the RDS instances. Okay, so customer is responsible for the resources he is using. AWS decline any responsibility if the customer forgets to shut down resources. If you think, oh sorry, I forgot, please excuse me for this time, no, that and all they can't do. Okay, you have to pay. So that's why you have to take a responsibility and make sure that you are deleting the EC2 and RDS instances and the S3 objects once your work is done, friends. Okay. Okay, friends, clear on this? Okay, just to give me 5 more minutes, we are done almost. So we will see certifications available, friends. See, these are the certifications available in the AWS. One is Cloud Practitioner. This is the basic certification. Next, we have 3 more certification. These are associate solution architect, associate developer, associate sysops administration. If you want to go as a architect, then you have to take this one. If you want to continue your career as a developer, you have to take this. If you want to continue your career as a admin or infra team, then you have to go with the sysops administration. So this is the associate level. So after, if you go to professional advanced level, we have a something called solution architect, professional solution architect, DevOps engineer. If you go further, specialty, so specific. If you want to continue in the big data, you have a big data certification. If you want to go in a security, then infra side, security certification. Machine learning, if you want to go machine learning. Advanced networking, you can go to advanced networking side, you can take this certification. So total year you are able to see 10. But we have recently one more certification they have introduced, that is image and Alexa. So I hope everybody know, right? Alexa skills, you might have taken image and that Alexa you might have seen with your friends or something. Okay, you can just give the instructions, Alexa will work. It will take your instructions and it will work. So that Alexa, on that Alexa also you can make a one certification. You can write a exam and you can get the specialized certification on the Alexa skill as well. So total here we have 10. One more we have, that is specialized on the Alexa. So total we have a 11 friends. This is the basic, this is the associate level, this is professional, this is specialty. So let's go and we will see what exactly mean by foundation. Foundation means if you learned AWS for about 6 months and if you want to check your knowledge, you can go and write your basic, that is cloud practitioner exam. Next, associate, 1 year experience we have and you know basic problems solving and you have a basic knowledge on developing the AWS services and implementing the some solutions, then you can go with the associate. Professional means if you have 2 years good knowledge on the AWS, if you want to take a advanced technical expertise, you want to prove that you are advanced technical expert in AWS services, then you can go and write the professional certificate. Then you have a specialty, this is basically technical, so this is based on the domain. So do you want to go to machine learning, do you want to go to big data, do you want to go to Alexa skill? So based on specialty of the domain, you have to go with the specialty and you can do it. Okay, when people are doing PG after a BTech MTech, people will do PG based on a specific domain. So in the same way here, so specific domain friends, whether you want to continue in big data, where you want to continue, that you have to give here. So if you see here, so cloud practitioner, you will have a 65 questions, it's a 90 minutes and $100 friends. Okay, so associate exam is 55 to 60 questions will be there. It will vary, depends on the exam to exam and how you are attempting the questions. So it will be 130 minutes, $150 price. Professional is 75 to 80 questions will be there, 180 minutes, $300. Specialty is also 65 questions, 170 minutes, $300 friends. Okay, so these are the some information about your certification. Okay, so more information, AWS currently offers 11 certifications that cover major cloud roles including solution architect, developer, sysops administration. Next, if you need to retake the exam, you will be eligible to do so after 14 days. Let's say right now I have attempted the exam, I failed. Again, you can retake the exam after 14 days. Okay, if you pass the exam on same day, after 72 hours, you will get some notification to your mail ID saying that congratulations and your certification, your certification is ready, something like that. You will get it, friends. Okay. So these are the some of the worldwide top organizations which are using AWS Cloud. Okay, NASDAQ, Samsung, all these things you can see here, and government organizations if you want to see NASA, all these things. Okay, USDA, all these things are using, friends. Okay, so these are the things which I have planned for today. So tomorrow we will start with the IAM, friends, identity access management, and we will start doing some kind of a lab sessions from tomorrow. Okay, that's all from my end, friends. If you have any question, reach out to me in WhatsApp, friends. Thank you all.